Before we kick off this video, I just want to say that I've actually got a script written for this episode, unlike usual, because it's a little bit different and it's a subject that I'm not as much of an expert in as technology, but it's still something I want to talk about, and the script means that I can make sure that I'm actually factually accurate. It is also very important knowing that before I go into this video, that even though this isn't a sponsored video, I do have some form of interest in Sterling Shave Club doing well, something that I'll come into later, purely because I've actually invested my own money into the business. So what we're going to talk about today is Seedrs. It's this European crowdfunding service, which is more for companies as opposed to products, I guess. Think of it like Kickstarter, but without products, with just companies instead. Now, if you want the top to bottom to how this works, I'm not the one to talk to for that. Go onto the website for seedrs.co.uk and you can read up there. This is where you are for sort of a brief overview and a couple of examples. So, Seedrs, think of it like Kickstarter for investment, except instead of that product you get at the end, so if you invest $100 you get a product, you invest £100, because we're in Europe, so 100 euros, there we are. You invest 100 euros and you get a part of the company as opposed to an actual physical product. Thinking of this very, very loosely, imagine that a company is looking for £100,000 worth of investment for 10% of their business. Now, you can invest as much or as little as you want as long as it's more than £10. And if you invest, say, £1,000, you get 1/100th of that 10%, which is 0.1%. Now, as I said, the amount you invest is completely up to you, and though there's no right or wrong answer, generally in the world of investment, it's good to diversify and invest little amounts of money in many different things as opposed to putting all of your money in one thing. So you've got this 0.1% of a company that you've invested £1,000 into, and imagine that over the course of the next few years the value of the company doubles. That's great, because you've got 0.1% of this company. That percentage stays the same, but what that means is that £1,000 worth of shares, that 0.1%, is now worth £2,000. So you can actually sell it on for £2,000. So at this point you're thinking, George, if it's just a way to make money where I give them money now and I get more money later, why don't we do it for every business? And because no, basically. It is possible and potentially even likely for this to go the other way. If you invest £1,000 and the company ends up not taking off, you end up in this downward spiral where you either have to sell as quickly as you can so that you lose as little money as possible, or if the company collapses entirely, that 0.1% is worth nothing. Now, luckily, you'll never lose more than you invest, but it does mean you have to be careful with the amount you invest in which company, so you should probably do your research. Now, Seedrs to some extent mitigates that risk, and they probably won't like me saying that, but when you think about it, the companies that are kind of hand-picked to some extent. It's not anyone goes on and puts their thing on, and also, you know that you're not the only person investing. So, Sterling Shave Club have set up an investment target of £150,000. If they don't reach their target, then everyone who invested gets their money back, which means that if they have no chance whatsoever, you're not putting your money at risk. If they're looking for £150,000 and make £149,000, then they're not getting your money. You know that maybe it's not that good an idea. Now, while doing the research for this video, I looked up companies that had been invested in through Seedrs, and I found Toast. Now, Toast is, I think, mostly UK based, so you might not have heard of them. They're a healthy food chain. They do salads and wraps and things that are really good for you, basically. And it was crazy because I didn't expect it, because I go there for lunch most days, and turns out they'd made £1.3-ish million through Seedrs. Here's the thing though, they were only after £750,000. So what do you do in that situation? Do you still only offer 5.5%, and that means that everyone who did invest is getting less than they thought they would? No. What you actually do is you have to offer more of your company so everyone still gets that same rate. But it does mean that taking in any extra over what you were originally asking for is completely optional. In terms of Sterling Shave Club though, they're after 150,000, as I mentioned earlier, for just under 7% of their company, putting their valuation in at roughly £2 million. Now, as I record this video, it's not actually open to the public yet. Only Sterling Shave Club subscribers and people who already know the link for one reason or another, and has currently raised roughly 8% of that target at £12,000. This is where you can make a difference though, because from as little as £10, you could actually technically own part of Sterling Shave Club. Sterling Shave Club offers cheap and amazing razors on a monthly basis, and is a thing I've actually been using for the last 3 years. I did my first review of a Sterling Shave Club razor years ago, and I have genuinely been using them since, whether in one form or another, because they are genuinely really great. And as you can tell, I don't shave much, so that's not something I should probably be saying. But even though I don't shave much, I genuinely believe in the business model, the idea of a subscription service for razors, making sure that you never forget and you don't have to pay tens of pounds for a set of like Gillette razors in the store. And if you want an example of why it has the potential to succeed, just look across the pond. Dollar Shave Club offers the exact same service at more or less the same price, except it's US based, and it is really taking off. And I think the biggest issue for Sterling Shave Club currently is marketing budget, something they are really looking to increase through this funding. In fact, if they do make that £150,000 target, 70% of it is going to marketing, with 20% going into increasing stock for the sake of that sort of, the cheaper in bulk, that kind of thing. So it looks like this service could get a lot better and potentially a bit cheaper for the end user. Personally, I think Sterling Shave Club has a lot of potential, and I highly recommend going to the link here, seedrs.com/sterling-shave-club, link in the description or on screen currently if you're watching on a computer. I genuinely believe that they are very likely to succeed in what they're looking for if they get the right amount of attention. Now, it is very important that you don't just say it because I say so. Make sure you criticize absolutely everything I've said today. Go do some Google searches, do some of your own research, look at why it's good and why it's bad, and the risks of investing and the benefits of investing, because it's not a surefire way of doing anything. But if you believe the way I do, that they have a chance to succeed in this, and I genuinely believe that they have a unique market, and if they reach this target, they could do very well for themselves. You could easily, in my opinion, double or triple your money if they really take off. But it's up to you. Make sure to interrogate me. Go and check them out though, at least give them a chance. And you have to remember that it's as little as £10, and technically you'll be an investor. You can call yourself an entrepreneur. Don't call yourself an entrepreneur because you invested in one company on Seedrs once. And you're technically also a business owner. You own a business, or at least part of it. You're an equity holder in a business. Anyway guys, thanks for watching. Please check out Sterling Shave Club. They are people I've been working with for years, and they are genuinely great guys. So make sure to check them out, and if you can invest, it would be as great for you as it would be for them, potentially, if it really takes off. And if not, then you'll only lose as much as you think you're willing to risk. Either way, thanks for watching. If you liked the video, make sure to hit like, and if you want me to try and explain other topics, be sure to ask and I'll try. I mean, there's no guarantee on how well I'll explain them, but I'll definitely give it a go. And click up here to see yesterday's video, which was completely different from investment, and then click up here to see a random video I haven't picked yet. It's a good one, I think, but I'm not going to tell you what it is because that would be cheating. Subscribe to see more videos like this one, and I'll see you guys next time.